Welcome back to Universal Devils. I hope you guys are staying safe and doing well. And now we are bringing in the Aston Villa preview along with Luke and David. What's up? What's happening?
I'm all right, thanks.
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Ready to talk about the upcoming game. Super excited as usual.
So I think we've already covered the entire segment on the game that is gone, the Carabao Cup game against West Ham. And if you guys want to check that out, it's going to be there in the IGTV section. And that was a really good chat. So I don't want to give anything away. Please make sure that you check that out. And now moving forward, Aston Villa. So now we come into this game again with a loss. But at the end of the day, the entire team was different. So does it really matter in terms of the form going into this game?
It's off, dude.
All right, then. It does and it doesn't. Because it didn't have, because we'll probably be making 11 changes on Saturday. I don't think it will, but it could be. It could in a way affect it, but I don't think it will. I don't think Villa are going to be that much of a struggle anyway. But we do have to watch out for a few of the key players like Buendia and Bailey. But I think overall, I think once we've got Ronaldo back, Bruno back, Greenwood back, Varane and Maguire back, De Gea back, I think that we'll be fine.
Look.
Yeah, I agree. I think we'll be fine in this match. Looking at Aston Villa's squad and what their probable lineup is they're likely to go with 5 at the back, similar to what they did with Everton and a couple of other fixtures. So just having a look at the lineup they went with before, I think it was Cash. What have I got here? Cash, Konsa, Tawanzabi. Well, he can't play because he's on loan, right?
Yep.
From us, so he can't play. Perfect. So Mings and Target. So 5 at the back. So it's a low block, which in the past I think Manchester United have struggled to sort of break down. But we eventually got through against Newcastle, who did something similar. They did catch us on the break though. Danny Ings, look, he's not the most paciest striker in the world, is he? But Ollie Watkins is. So they do complement each other well. I think it'd be a similar game to the Newcastle match, to be fair. Manchester United have more than enough. If Ronaldo's playing and Bruno Fernandes playing, I'm confident that Manchester United get a result. And Luke Shaw, Varane, Maguire at the back. Look, just throwing some of these names out there. I'm expecting a pretty comfortable Manchester United win.
Something that you've already touched on, which I was going to bring into the next segment, the formation that we might see them going with 5 at the back. The one thing that I really want to highlight is if Tawanzabi does not play, they might shift it to a 4-3-3 and bring in Leon Bailey, who actually played fantastically for them in the last game. So it could be a front 3 of Watkins, Ings and Bailey, and that might be interesting in terms of trying to defend that coming in. As per the key players to look out for, look, even if they go with the 5 at the back, Watkins and Ings, that sounds like a good enough challenge for a centre-backs, even though it's Maguire and Varane.
I'd be more worried about Buendia and Bailey over Ings. I'm not saying Ings isn't that good, but their 3 key players for me would be Buendia, Bailey and Watkins. I think they're the 3 targets.
I agree. I only think that Ings becomes relevant if Bailey and Buendia are actually performing. Do you know what I mean? If they don't perform, then Ings is irrelevant, to be honest with you. He feeds on those sort of players who read the game and give him the perfect through ball. Watkins could create something out of nothing because of his pace. He's that sort of player. But I actually think Bailey might be injured. He injured himself scoring against Everton, actually. He's got a thigh injury. So I'm not 100% sure on that. But just based on a bit of research I did in the last couple of days, he's being rested. So he might only get a half or something. Buendia as well, he's dangerous. He's a really good player. So he's a baller. So he's one to watch out for. But I rate our centre backs. I think that as they play more and more together, I think Champions League Varane and Harry Maguire, good old slabhead, I think that they're a good partnership and pretty solid at the back. So we should be able to deal with that attack. It's just breaking down that low block. But as soon as you see Ronaldo in a lineup, I expect us to be able to score those tap-ins, and Bruno Fernandes and also Ronaldo to be able to score those worldies that we might require.
Yeah.
So
I've literally just been looking up on the Leon Bailey. It does look like he's a major doubt, and if he doesn't play, it could be Bertrand Traore. So
he scored against us, didn't he, last time?
He did. Yeah, it wasn't the most pleasing goal, like to the eye, but I'd rather Manchester United play or have to defend against him than Leon Bailey, to be fair.
Guys, what do you think about the midfield battle that is going to go in? Again, Lewis and Ramsey. I don't know. I'm not too sure about who Ramsey is, but him going against Scott McTominay and Fred. Yeah.
McFred all day long. Don't care what people say about them. They have played 64 games together. 64. So that is a lot, and they have lost 4 times. I can recall 2 of them. One was the Arsenal 1-0 last season when a certain Paul Pogba gave away a last-minute penalty. So no, I'm just stating a fact, Paris. I know I don't like Pogba, but he gave the penalty away. I'm just stating a fact.
That was horrible. I remember that very well.
And the other one was the Liverpool game at the end of the season. And I've said this before, but I blame the United thugs that broke into Old Trafford the previous time we tried to play Liverpool. And I think if we had played Liverpool when we were supposed to have played them, we would have beat Liverpool. And because the thugs broke into Old Trafford, being absolute randals, and if any of them are watching, you're an absolute knob, then I'm sorry. They put more pressure on the team because we had like 4 games in like 8 days or something, and no professional football club can do that. Nobody, especially at the end of the season. And so, yes, it's Liverpool. Yes, we should go out and beat them, and yes, we did try and beat them, but unfortunately, because of our fatigue, we couldn't. And if we'd played them previously, I think we would have beat them. So there's 2 of the games that we've lost. If somebody can tell me the other 2, go ahead. But 4 games out of 64. I don't know how many we've won. I don't know how many we've drew, but I don't care. 60 games we've gone unbeaten with them, and that's fantastic in my eyes. Nobody's going on about the away record that we've got 28 or 29. How many
30.
have we drawn?
30
is it now? Yeah. Nobody's going on, well, how many have we drawn? What? So that's all right, but we've gone 60 games unbeaten with McFred. Oh, but how many have we drew?
Well,
60 games unbeaten. I'm sorry.
Luke, why do you think they don't get the credit, as David has mentioned? Like, what is it that fans just don't fancy them? What's the scene?
When you mean that question, do you mean as in like McTominay and Fred together?
Together.
Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
So it's not so much about I don't fancy them as a partnership. It's I get that they haven't lost much, and I like that because you never want to see your football team lose. But there's moments like I criticised Ollie bringing Matic on in our last post-match, if you remember, last week.
Yes.
And I instantly thought, fuck me, what are you doing, mate? Like, are you serious? And then Matic actually played a great ball through to Lingard. And ultimately it got us the 3 points, thanks to David De Gea as well, of course. But, you take away that penalty situation. I just feel that Fred doesn't have that ability to play the ball forward, to pick out that clinical pass.
He did.
But I don't think, obviously now with Matic playing now today, it will be a McFred lineup, and I'm not like overly worried about it. It's just the recent form of Fred. I can't help but feel that we've seen him in quite a few games recently where I think his tenacity is brilliant. Like you look at players like Kante and other, Jorginho for Chelsea, he's definitely got those characteristics about him where he'll give his all, but his through ball ability, like his passing accuracy and his first touch, has been pretty piss poor at times, and I think it puts United in danger when we're sometimes on the front foot, and that can just change a game just like that. Yeah. So that's my concerns with Fred. Not McTominay though. I really rate McTominay. I don't know the agenda against McTominay. I think he is a pure Manchester United player coming through the ranks, and he, whether it's playing defensive, he'll put a shift in. And even if you want to push him forward, which I prefer him going forward, he is good going forward. He can score good goals outside the box. He can score headers. He can score goals from close range. He's a dangerous player. I'm all for McTominay. I personally feel he needs a Matic, but of 3 or 4 years younger. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, McTominay for me is our best central midfielder. I don't include Bruno.
Pure sentiment.
I don't include Bruno in that because he's a number 10. I include Pogba in that, by the way.
You mean box to box?
Box to box.
No, I mean anyone that can play in central midfielder. I'm not including Bruno because he does play number 10. But out of anyone that can play central midfielder, Matic, Pogba, Donny, McTominay, out of them four, McTominay's our best. But going back to the Fred putting balls forward, yeah, he doesn't do it regularly, but he did do a sweet ass ball against West Ham in the first half, right over the top of him, and I can't remember if it was to Ronaldo or Greenwood, but he did do a sweet ass ball, and it surprised me. And he was actually also the person that helped set up the first goal, because he did a sweet ass volley to Bruno, who then lobbed it over for Ronaldo. Yeah. He has got the ability. I think sometimes he sometimes maybe sees the criticism he gets online, and people criticise him for so much. I mean, I've seen somebody that gave him a rating out of 2 for the West Ham game. I'm like, come on, man.
It's a bit harsh.
It is. Yeah. He was better than Pogba. Pogba on Sunday was absolute dog crap. And I'm not saying
first half. I think Pogba actually did alright. Second half, yeah, he was. Yeah,
it was actually nice to see Pogba took off, because he seems to be one of them players who he can play poor and he will just never get took off. And it was actually nice to see him get took off.
Unfortunately, we don't really have many games to see and rate Donny van de Beek in that position. But I'm just going through the last game. I understand, in your opinion, that he did not really have a good game. But against West Ham in the Carabao Cup game, what I saw from Donny van de Beek was he was physical. He was putting in the passes. He was looking forward. He was aggressive. He was putting in the shift. He was putting in the tackles. He was a little suspect when it comes to man marking and letting his players go from time to time. But I have seen the same thing from Fred. So what I'm trying to say is that you can then come back with your opinion. What I'm trying to say is that he has shown, Donny van de Beek has shown the things that we want from a number 6/8 to be aggressive on the ball and around it. Plus, he has that extra bit of ability on the ball where he can keep the ball with him. He can pass it forward. So why not give him 3, 4, 5 games along with probably say a McTominay? Yeah. That's just my only opinion.
That's how I feel. So you go first, David. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, I do agree. I know I said McFred all day. I wouldn't not have McTominay, Donny. Like straight up. I mean, if it was consistently, yes, I'd see how it was. I mean, there's nobody else apart from Fred. There would be no one else I'd have with McTominay in central midfielder. I'd have Donny over anybody else. I'm not going to go into who else because I think everyone knows why. But I mean, Paris. Let me just say this: going on the 2 West Ham games. Okay, McFred on Sunday made 41 passes forward. Yesterday, we made 49 with the 2 central midfielders. So yesterday they did make more passes going forward, but on passes backwards, McFred only made 10 on Sunday, while yesterday they made 21. Now there's no stats on sideways passing. Now I know these stats are a bit, how can I put? I mean, well, they're correct because obviously, but the thing is, you could say, well, they've just made a backwards pass. But the thing is, that might be the only pass backwards that they could do to keep possession. So when people go, oh, we need to pass forward, we need to, like everyone complaining about going sideways. I'd rather put a sideways pass in than try forward pass out of the I don't know.
But then,
Ruben-
David,
Ruben-
coming to this point itself, like that's because Fred does not have the ability to find passes forward, is why he goes sideways, is what we're trying to say,
Yeah.
or I'm trying to say. But
Yeah,
Van de Beek can do that.
possibly. Yeah. I'll agree. But what I'm saying is, some people going, we should pass forward.
Not always.
but-
I don't agree with that.
No. But it's like sometimes it's like rubbing a lamp, wishing on a genie. You can pass forward, cock it up, and then get caught on the counter attack. Sometimes passing sideways is sometimes the best way to do it. So
agree
yeah,
with that.
maybe.
I agree with that.
It winds me up so much when the people are complaining about sideways passing, where sometimes it's better to keep possession than try passes forward because when teams like West Ham play a high line, then sometimes passing forward isn't an option. We have to build it up, pass it sideways, pass it to the wings, pass it to Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Sancho, Greenwood, and let them run at them rather than passing forward. And this is why sometimes passing sideways is the best option. But sometimes people just can't get it through the thick heads and realise that they I think sometimes they just want us to pass the ball forward, and then I'm not saying we'll lose the ball all the time, but sometimes when
That's not the right
West Ham
option.
when West Ham have got 11 men, say this is West Ham and we're here. When we're passing forward, they've got 11 men in front of the ball. So how are we supposed to pass the ball forward where we can pass sideways? People sometimes just don't get it. Sometimes it winds me up.
Yeah. For me, I don't think Fred's good enough. I think that there's been many occasions where I understand sideways football when it's necessary, but it's not just a sideways football with Fred. I think sometimes it's his first touch in intricate situations where, as a professional football player, Manchester United, this isn't Leeds, this isn't Arsenal, this isn't like Norwich, this is Manchester United.
Yeah.
I just think that we saw against West Ham where he tried to first touch the ball and it ended up going out, I think, to Bowen. No, it wasn't Bowen, but someone got through clean through on goal, and David De Gea made a worldie. And that's not just that occasion, that happens quite often. And I still think there's a player in Fred as a rotational, just how I feel about Lindelof. I just don't think, I think that if Manchester United, if I was told, right, you get to rub a genie lamp for Manchester United, I would be saying, centre defensive midfielder, please. You know what I mean? Give us the best one that there is out there. Give us a Kante or something. Because I look at some of his highlights when I watch Chelsea, because I generally try and watch as much of Chelsea highlights as possible, because I think that they are the next sort of Liverpool, Man City contenders at the moment. He's fucking good, mate. He gets the ball, he wins it back, he plays his heart off, which I think Fred does that really well. He does do that, exactly what Kante does, but when he gets it back, he plays the simple ball, or he can play that little bit more intricate passing, whereas Fred can't really do that. I think maybe Van de Beek, he's not as quick, he won't have that as much tenacity about him, but maybe his positional play and his control on the ball might be a bit better, and he at least deserves a chance. This isn't me saying, get that man out my club with Fred. Fucking bring Herrera back any day. If Herrera was here, I'd be saying, what is Fred doing on the pitch? Personally, I think McTominay and Fred, fucking hell, man. McTominay and Herrera. Jesus, man, that would be absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I'd love Fred to prove me wrong, but I personally can't see it from here.
Okay, guys. I'm so sorry to cut you off because
that's cool.
we're almost done with the time over here, and we're going to move on. And we're going to keep this week, like we mentioned before, we're going to have conversations more often, which are not related to any preview, where we can touch on these things definitely. So moving on to the Aston Villa game again, I think all of us agree with what the starting 11 is going to be like, because it was kind of given, the predicted 11, what it's going to be. Is there anything different that you would like to add to that?
I'll see Luke's first.
It's going to be the same.
I don't think it will be.
In goal, I think Tom Heaton. Nah, just kidding. Definitely
I'll pick Grant.
Maybe they bring Taibbi back.
Yes.
I think Luke Shaw obviously
Hold on,
is a
Luke.
given.
People are going, who? Who's that?
Yeah,
Who's that?
probably. Wouldn't surprise me. Just watch the old Southampton replay in 2001.
Or
I
just,
think it
or
was.
just watch his man of match performance against Liverpool.
Yeah. Obviously, I think Wan-Bissaka will start. If he's not injured, he's not injured, is he? So I think Wan-Bissaka will start. We're going to have Harry Maguire, Slabhead and Varane at the back, which I'm perfectly happy with. McFred in the midfield. I think Bruno Fernandes has got to start. Like, there's no way Bruno Fernandes, if he doesn't start Bruno Fernandes, then he should be fired, to be honest with you. That's just how I feel. Ronaldo up top. We'll have Greenwood on as well.
You've left the left side out. Left midfield and left
side.
back.
No, left back, I said sure. I do think that he should start with, personally, I think he should start with Sancho. He should still start.
I agree with that team. I think that should be the team.
But what's Ollie going to play?
Who's that? Well, I've got it right. I've got it right twice already this season. I got Newcastle right. I got last night right. Back five is easy, especially because Wan-Bissaka can't play in midweek. So there's no, unless he does play Dalot to get match fitness more for Atlanta.
Shit.
Dalot played 90 minutes, so
I don't think so. Personally, I don't think so.
I forgot he's suspended. Yeah. So
I still don't think he will, because he played last night. The centre of midfield, and I've said McFred. People have been going on about Donny playing really well, and yeah, he did play well. He's passive. And what we were saying earlier was, let's try McTominay and Donny. And this is nothing to do with Fred. I want to see if them two can play. If Ollie plays that, I do not know. But that's probably going to be my prediction for the middle two. I might change it, I don't know. The left, I think he's going to play Paul Pogba, because exactly what Luke said, he's forcing him onto the pitch. The right, it'll be Greenwood. Up top, it'll be Ronaldo. And Bruno in number 10.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, last 2 minutes left. Your final predicted score.
We are home or away? I forgot.
We're
Home.
Oh yeah, of course we are, because someone's going to. Let's go crazy and say 5-0. I'll say Ronaldo will finally get his hat-trick. Fred will score. And Varane. Fred will score 40-yarder.
Speaking of Varane and scoring on corners, it pisses me off that Manchester United have hired a set piece coach, and we've had more set pieces but not scored from them. It kind of annoys me a little bit, but I think Manchester United do get the win. I don't think it would have as much gloss as yourself here, David. I hope it does, trust me. But I think there's goals in this game, and only because we've got Greenwood and Ronaldo up front and Bruno, I'm going to say 3-1. I think they score. Because of Newcastle and West Ham. I do think that they pose a threat, whether it's Ings with a quick tap in or header, or Watkins, pace. But I think Ronaldo scores, I think Bruno scores, and I think Greenwood scores. I think that they're too dangerous.
Moving into the last 20 seconds, so I think we should call it a day. And thank you so much for coming on, and I'm going to definitely talk to you guys very soon.
Yeah, thanks.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for having us.
Luke.
Yeah, you
nice
too,
to
mate.
meet you. Yeah, no problem.